Sound, let there be sound. Hello. How goes? Yeah, my bad. My bad. It's good now. It's good. I was editing and I cached my clips and it took up 500 gigabytes of storage. How is that possible, bro? Big B's, nice. My first opponent. Seriously though, how is that possible? 500 gigabytes? I'm deleting that right now. So that my stream doesn't explode. Wouldn't want that, would we? Let's see. Stream recordings, that's in... Okay. It's in there, so there is space. That's good. We're good. Vampire counts time. Zombie only match. You can only take 5 though. Skeletons you can take more. Blood Knights will be fun. How's it cheating though? Blood Knights are hype. Alright, just gotta get my opponent in. I think Karen rates should be fun. They're playing Petonia though, which means Karen rates will not be fun. Ooh, Petonia. This should be really interesting actually. Petonian cavalry, they can dunk on my cavalry. There was the Maximilianer style with the Mortis engine shenanigans. They kind of just sat there and took my shots like no one's business. Wrong banner. Let me fix that real quick. But alright, it should be interesting. And by the way, there's only 2 more weeks of qualifications and then the finals will begin. Although I'm thinking I might only do 1 week of qualifications. I don't know. We'll see. But we can add in 9 more people. Not too bad. How you gonna count a Green Knight? Double Viking's not bad. They have magic attacks. The way Maximilianer played it was he used Manny. He used Manfred because he has the lore of death magic. So he can Buna stuff. He also used, he went like Buna Winds of Death. Kind of crazy. Kind of insane. Oh, he's not that expensive though. He's kind of like Archaon. Archaon levels of expensive. Maybe a little bit more, but on a horse, he's not the worst. I can kind of see it. Running Manfred is a moral loss. Yeah, it's got to be Vlad. All right, to start the day off though, we gotta do the Maximilianer special, right? If Maximilianer knows how to do it, we should do. It's the Petonian archers that I gotta kill. Their infantry ain't too bad. Can kinda deal with them. My crypt horrors will have to be a little careful though. Very prone to just being murdered. Crypt ghoul shenanigans are solid. How do I feel about this build? Okay, it's this is all right, I guess. Honestly, Petonia's kind of a menace. But this build seems like it is okay. Looks like Big B's is ready. Watch I just lose this matchup on both sides. Imagine. Can't win it on the Plutonian side, can't win it on the Vampire Count side. What am I doing if that happens? Bats counter archers? Bats cost 350 gold. If they don't completely kill the archer, you're just down trading. Archers are good at running, so they just come back. So you have to be very careful. Counter archers if your opponent sucks. Okay, you know what? Let's try this. Actually, wait. Now it's a build. Alright. Try this. Oh boy. Ah, jeez. What a way to start the day off. Terrorgeist, Vargeist, dies to Pegasus. Britonia doesn't have crazy deeps. Ah, I forgot the flag, my bad. Ranged vampire counts only. Is there a faction that can't do melee only? I think all factions have enough melee units, right? Even mega hybrid factions like Kislev. Now it's a build. I added a Vargeist just in case I need to recharge some cav. I think that completes it fairly well. 3 Terrorgeists? We can't. It's max 2. Cathay would lose half the bonuses? What do you mean? Half the bonuses? Oh boy, here we go. Yo, what happened to this tree, man? Looks like it got exploded. Interesting. Ooh, look at this guy. Who built a fence here? Why would you build a random fence around your tiny camping ground off the side of the road? What does this fence even do for you? What are you fencing off? There's nothing for miles. Sick cook pot though. Wash tub. Alright. The build. So we're doing the special strat. The Maximillionaire strat. Vampire counts extraordinaire. Manfred, double White King. Winds of Death. We got Buna. Awkward UI, but we got it. Ready, good luck, have fun. Winds of Death if there's a ton of archers. Buna if I need to kill cavalry. Nagash was weak. Yo, I feel like Nagash will be much stronger than Manfred. If they were melee only, they wouldn't get harmony. Actually, there's a few melee units that do have harmony. There are a few. So they've gone for the Fey Enchantress, which is good for me. That means that they want to set up for a blob fight. So corpse carts are actually perfect for this situation. We've got some Grail Knights. Grail Knights have a decent amount of HP, but they still don't like being hit by the Bunes. We have 2 archers ripe for the killing. And the way Maximillionaire felt like he could deal with cavalry was with the Mortis engine. So I think we'll just do that. And then I should be okay. Let's run the Fey Enchantress off of this here point, why don't we? And the Grail Knight should not be a big issue. Capture point shall be mine. Looks like he's just going over here. So what do you plan to do with these Grail Knights? Are you really gonna charge in here? I think not. Some Pegasus Knights of some sort have arrived. Okay. These are quite expensive. So I think I'll just, I will just Buna them if we're given the opportunity. I got White Kings here, so I'm not that worried about the archers. I'll just scab scrap them. They're gonna shoot. And goodbye, archers. Very nice. Then I'll just use Manfred's Buna. Kill off the Pegasus Knights. That should be rather painful. That archer is just dead. Also very good. And here comes the Mortis engine. Now I gotta be careful. If he kills the Mortis engine, that'd be hella awkward. But Buna's already done some glorious, glorious work. Okay, we've got to pull back a few of these guys. The Grail Guardians are also kind of suffering. If the Mortis engine can simply make it, I'm happy. It's all I really need. And it's only one archer. That's not particularly scary. Seems like a fairly good build so far. I doubt the Fey Enchantress will be able to do much either. And what I can do is I can start getting some dogs maybe to kill these archers. If I don't want to wait for the scab scrats. But yeah, those Pegasus Knights got absolutely wrecked. These guys over here ain't looking too good either. He drops the comet from the Fey. Pretty painful, but not the end of the world. As long as I can keep bullying these guys, I'm happy. Though this blob is a little awkward. Oh crap, he saw my dogs. Alright, it's fine. They'll just hide from the Knights of the Realm. I shouldn't have to worry too much about a single archer. Especially if I can get my healing going on here. Unfortunately, he's dragging my corpse cart. He's kidnapped it. Okay, is he gonna dodge with these guys? I don't think so. Boom. Okay, that's a bunch of dead archers. That's good. And now the question is, now what? I have some Crypt Ghouls maybe I can summon in here. Mortis engine will be great. Manfred will be great. As long as I can just stick in this fight, I am A-okay. It'll be quite the grind. It should be pretty difficult to break through here. Mortis engine's just doing fine. The lack of archers is really going to be the end of them, I think. Oh, crap. Grail Knights coming from Crypt Ghouls, man. Okay, maybe a misplay? Though, if I can get some Vargeist on them, that'd be great. I'm going to do that while the Grails are distracted and far away. Now, I may not be getting points, but I am getting hella value. I think I just want to pool onto this point now. He will have another comet, but that doesn't matter very much. At the end of the day, I'm healing ludicrous amounts of HP. Question is, do the Grail Knights kill the Vargeists? And how much is he willing to commit to that situation? Because I think committing too much is just going to be suicide. He's going to want more archers too later, which is why we'll keep those dogs at the ready. And then my little kill squad is just chilling. They are just chilling. Not much to do. We have Bunas at the ready. Another comet drops. Kind of botches it though. Not the best Buna we've ever seen. And yeah, okay, he's just full rotating over here, which is not particularly scary. The dogs are going ham too. Run! Run, my Crypt Ghouls. Maybe they'll be okay. I just need to make sure that these Grails don't murder me. But look at that, the dogs are doing great. I can start making my way over to this point. Keep running, boys! Keep running to the trees! It's honestly not too bad. Because I should be able to secure this point. The Mortis is healing like crazy too. And yeah, he's just trying to go for, like, value plays. But this is a fairly good situation for me. And the main Frid White King crew are doing pretty well for themselves by the looks of it. I'll just save the Scab Scrat for later. No need to worry much. And then I think what we'll do is I'm just going to get some Blood Knights. Then I'm going to hunt down these Grails. Can do that. Life is good. Those are just Knights of the Realm, not a big deal. We'll see how this fight goes. I'm gonna back it up. I'm going to get some skeletons to body block. Unfortunately, Manfred and co. did not really get there very quickly. Just a little awkward. But if I can just drop the Buna on these guys and get them murdered, life is glorious. I think that's what we can do. They are not particularly scary. And the Mortis Engine will definitely kill those knights. Let's see what he can get done. He's trying to get the spell casting out. He really wants those guys to live, but I'm going to make it quite difficult. There's the Buna. Mortis Engine can go into this blob. And then Crypt Ghouls can start making their way downtown again. We'll just keep spamming infantry here. As long as the Blood Knights don't take too much damage, I should be okay. And he's cycle charging, but it ain't doing too much damage. He shouldn't be able to secure this point. I'll get this one. I think this is fine. This feels alright. The Buna hit pretty hard by the looks of it. Really nice. And value trading should still be amazing for me. I have the double cap. Glorious. Very nice. And now what are you going to do, good sir? It's gonna be a little sketchy. Whoop. If he camps out here forever, I'm eventually just going to win on a 2-cap. And the Mortis Engine is just free to farm value. So I don't know how I feel about this. I guess if he does kill my knights, that would be unfortunate, but it doesn't seem like they are in big trouble right now. If anything, it seems like they're doing pretty well for themselves, so I don't know. It is kind of an awkward fight, but I think we're doing great over there. And the Mortis Engine lives, and these guys are just super low leadership. I think he's just not going to be able to get enough killed in time. There's just too much here. He did kill my Blood Knights, though. Very unfortunate. But if I just keep running with these Crypt Ghouls and making it awkward, I really don't see what can be done. I'm just playing keep away and stalling strats. That's very much the Vampire Count's way. Gotta be careful that this point doesn't get stolen. So I'm just gonna leave a couple zombies there. Just gonna keep running with these Crypt Ghouls. Just dancing around constantly. And then I can start winning this fight. This is a perfect Scab Scrat situation, so I'm gonna take it. Because that just deletes all of ye old archers. I mean, infantry. And yeah, while the knights have been playing, you know, dance around with the Crypt Ghouls, I've just been conquering everything else. The healing has been immense too. My Crypt Horrors are basically heal capped. And that's going to make life very difficult. I'm just going to Buna these Grail Knights. Get them finished off. They don't have enough HP to survive that, I don't think. Ah, yeah, dude. The Buna value, man. The Buna value is through the roof. And now he's desperately trying to secure the points. This Crypt Ghoul did manage to live. Glorious. And I could try to push this third point. There is a lot of infantry coming in over here. I have to be careful not to overextend Mass Ale. But I think if I fight this area with the Mortis engine, and then I split off and hammer this left side point, I think I'll be in a good spot. Let's see here. I'm a little worried about those Knights of the Realm there. I have a lot of hanging money. But, you know what? I think if I can put on some point pressure, I'll be good. Honestly, the healing has been great for me. And once these guys get in and I get a Winds of Death, it's basically over. There's not a whole lot that can be done there. This area is looking pretty good. Just gonna split the dogs. Get the doggy micro going. Okay. Oh, is he trying to not blob up? That'd be smart. But yeah, now I got a triple cap. Yeah, he's trying to not blob up. Very smart. I don't know if I can get that glorious spell cast. They might even go for the middle if I'm not lucky. I should play to defend the middle. And then probably get a Blood Knight going. This point I'm okay giving up. At the end of the day. Yeah, let's just catch these guys out and get ready for the Bunes. I mean the Winds of Death. There we go. Oh yeah, he's not even he's not even trying to fight, bro. Alright, well I'm gonna chuck out the Winds of Death anyways. That should get some pretty good killing in. Although not the best killing I've ever seen. I do have Blood Knights now, and the Blood Knight cleanup will definitely be good. At the end of the day, I just have a full HP Mortis engine that's never gonna die. And since it's just been chilling in the fight for this entire game, no archers to speak of, there's basically nothing you can do. I've just severely outvalue traded at this point. Kind of a interesting game. Vampire counts. Very scary. Very slow match, mind you. Vampire counts are not known for their speed. But the fact that I still have enough for another Buna right now is kind of insane. Manfred does give you Winds of Magic just by fighting. So he's very good in these kind of long grindy fights. And generally speaking, you should not try the long grind versus vampire counts if they're ready for it. Now if I Cav max, maybe it'd be different. Pegasus Knights are not going to do much. This Mortis engine has too much value, bro. Damage alone, it's paid for itself, but it's also an AoE healing unit. It's quite insane. And that's going to be it. There's no more Bretonians, man. No more Bretonia! Huzzah! Bane Chantress is bleeding out. And that's going to be GG. Very nice. GG. Yeah, vampire counts are very strong versus some factions. If they can just kill the archers, they're fine. Grail Knights got bullied. Manfred got 4k value. That's insane. Yeah, the Maximilian tech. I swear, you just copy his builds and life is good. My Blood Knights did not do as well as I would have hoped for, unfortunately. Vargas are pretty cool though. And yeah, you basically put on a very hard timer. You basically put on a mega timer. Yeah, Blood Knights got wrecked. Thank goodness I didn't take too many of them. But heal capped crypt horrors were huge. If they killed them earlier, I would have been pretty screwed. And if they went straight for the Mortis at the beginning, I think that's where I might have lost. Because I honestly did not have much. Kyle is next. Yo. Oh, yo. So, I don't think it's impossible for Bretonia, but that definitely felt easier on the vampire count side with the Manfred tech. They would need some sort of way to kill Manfred. Alright, Whirling Maelstrom. Need more spears and ghosts. Ghosts are pretty squishy, you have to be careful with them. Spears are actually not needed. Obviously, they're nice. But Spears is not actually the full counter to Britonia. You need some anti-infantry, you need some anti-archer tech. So it's a Lizardmen. Should be fun. Blood Knights are a little undertuned. Yeah, Blood Knights are a little undertuned. They have really nice stats, but they're so expensive, relatively low HP. You know, they're kind of standard cav HP, but that means that they die just as easily as any other cav unit. So unless you're really farming their heal, they tend to kind of get messed up. But alright, lizards. Lizardmen are fun. They have a lot going for them. But they definitely bleed. I think what I could do actually is something crazy like this. Oh boy, alright. This one's a crazy build. I think the potential to get a lot of work done is there though. Let's see here. Yeah. Yeah, this one's hilarious. Could be absolutely terrible, we'll see. In fact, I'm quite ready for it to be absolutely terrible. But on the off chance that it's very hype. There's actually one meme Lizardmen build that I think would just destroy this utterly. Black Knight maxing. Black Knights are pretty hype. They do have, let me see. 80 armor, standard cav HP, but they're cheap. The greatest thing about them is that they have 78 speed. Unlike Blood Knights, who have 70 speed. Blood Knights feel so slow in terms of cav fights. It's quite sad. Do I want a Terrorgeist here? Do I want a Terrorgeist? Kind of an insane thought, but maybe. Okay, now I'm just memeing. But I'm not gonna lie, I do kind of like where this is going. This is definitely one of those fun builds. Fun for me, not my opponent. Well, maybe for my opponent. Sometimes when we cook too hard. And the boys want to buff this faction in the championship Discord. Hey, we only have one data point. Oh, whoops. I just got word that apparently Bearmen on Norska got removed. The unit is supposed to be accessible. Man, the quality control, man. But, yeah, they're supposed to be accessible. Oh, squats and hydrate, thank you. This is supposed to be accessible for Norska, but not Chaos. But you could still take it on the Chaos roster by just selecting the extended units roster. Usually if you turn on the thing that disables extended units, it's fine, but it didn't work with the Bearman. So we removed it from the Chaos roster, and it also removed it from the Norska roster. Apparently underneath in the code, CA made it where the Bearmen for Norska and Chaos are like the same. And not like the same stat wise. I mean, like, it's very hard to detach the Chaos and the Norska side of it. That's probably why when they tried moving them to the extended roster, it didn't, it's probably why it didn't work. We'll move the Dreadmaw next. I feel like, I haven't even, I guess I've seen a Dreadmaw kind of a while ago. I've seen more Lizardmen players than Dreadmaws. If you think the Dreadmaw is actually OP, win my tournament with it. If you win my tournament, you know what, Meaty Dingo? If you win my tournament with the Dreadmaw, I will remove it. Is that a deal? But that is only if it would have to be so OP, right? That, you know, clearly skill doesn't matter anymore. You can't use that as an excuse. It's just clearly broken. Put it on green skins and we have a deal. Ooh, oh, that's some good bartering. That's some really good bartering. That'd be pretty funny. Give everyone a Dreadmaw. But here's the thing though, right? If it really was OP, like if I see a ton of people going for Norska in the grand finals, and they're all spamming Dreadmaws, because we'll have money on the line. People should be tryharding a lot more. Then that's good grounds to get it fixed. But like realistically, I don't think it'll be a big issue. We'll see though. So I plan to cast every single game that is played in my tournament, so we can actually see how often Norska is run. Should be chill. All right. I should add in faction stats tracker like Total Tavern. Be fun. Personally, I think these like qualifier tournaments would be a bad representation. It would be cool to see the stats of like the grand finals. People should send me their like 3x3 matrix selections and all that. Just mass data. Depends on how the pick ban is gonna work. If I can, I will ban Norska every time. Yeah, so that's gonna be a thing. The way the pick ban system works, it's the same thing as my tournaments right now. Shouldn't you be in the Discord, by the way, Adler? You are. Oh, okay. Yeah, pick ban system is the same as my tournaments. You can pick a mono faction and play only that faction, but you'll be counterpicked. Unless you're playing someone else with the mono faction, then you just play your factions. But if Norska was truly OP, if it was truly OP, then I feel like people would just select Norska instead of their faction main. Now I won't spoil what people have been picking, but that would be the theory, right? Before we go into it. I think if we see faction mains picking Norska so that it can't be banned, then then we obviously have an issue. But with nerfed Barrowman, Chimera, and Dreadmaw, are we really going to be seeing that? With the price reductions, you're like, if you take a standard Norska build, you're like 1,000 gold down. That's like throwing away a whole cold one night. All right. Some edits. Here we go. Good luck, have fun. Ready? I say ready because there's not a lot to set up with this build. That's right. Going to Karen Wraith strat. But yeah, we'll see. Grand finals are going to be Norska, Beastmen, Slanesh, Wood Elves, let's be real. Maybe some Undead mixed in. That is a decent spread, but it's true that we'll be missing out on a lot of factions. The thing is, if Danican is there, I guarantee you Dark Elves will be in the finals. I guarantee you. If Zarx was around, you'd see Lizardmen and Skaven. I'd like to see how the nerfs play out. A lot of people have not been playing enough games to actually be able to make anything too conclusive. Especially in my Tryharding series. This series. I've been playing every single faction and getting a feel for it. For them all. I do think Undead is still stronger. But I don't know if it's enough to dislodge some of the faction mains. This is gonna be fun, by the way. Gotta get a Banshee. Banshee's just gonna run right in there, give that minus leadership debuff. Then if I just Winds of Death all these here skinks, we win. It's that simple. Gonna have a little bit of cavalry. Question is, I actually do kind of want to go for the bats. This is a crazy idea, but even a slight rear charge here should get the job done. I can pick apart at some skinks on the flanks too while we're here. Just gonna ignore those scary Croxagores. Downhill charge these guys to get them murdered. Alright, and there's the Winds of Death. Let's get him in. It's a little bit of an awkward engagement, I must say. That Winds of Death was good, though. Pretty decent damage over here. Though, if those skinks hold for too long, that would be very bad. How's the Gambler doing? I'm cycle charging these guys. Oh geez, okay. He's crumbling my ladies over there. And my cavalry is dying. Okay, so this is not the best start. I do have a double cap at least. I'm gonna go for the triple cap. I'm gonna ignore the Temple Guard. But I'm going to try and actually kill off these Sacred Croxagores. If I can kill them, that would be truly glorious. The dog charge is gonna do its best. Okay, and then I should be able to just Karen Wraith rush over here. And then I'm just gonna ignore these slow expensive units. Hopefully I can get these guys killed. I think that is I think that's what wins it for me. Gonna get a pretty decent spell cast over there. Come on, you darn Croxagores, just die. They're absolutely pummeling my poor fools. But if I can just kill them, it's okay. Kemmler's got to escape, but he's very good at that. Very nice. Not bad, not bad. Got a little bit of a terror out. But the Croxagores unfortunately do live. So, crap. Now what? Dude, those Croxagores, man. They are a menace. Okay, here's the thing. I should be able to kill off these skirmishers. Kemmler should be able to live. These guys are still doing damage. A little salamander hunting pack is nothing to me. So, I think it's not too bad if I can kill these guys. And I think if I get some blood knights on them, I'll be okay. I think that's the key to victory here. Banshee just has to run. Okay, not bad. But it seems like we're probably gonna be in a bit of a longer game. Jesus Croxagores. Those Croxagores, man. Are they cooking?
One of your units has been destroyed.
Okay, at least Kemmler's still alive. So how do I want to play this out? I got my Blood Knights here, and I got my big flank. These guys are all too slow to really participate in the action. So if the Blood Knights can catch these guys out, I'm golden, right? I'll just I'm gonna use 2 bats to shut these guys down. I generally speaking do not like bats very much, but I think because there's not that much support, it'll be a good time for it. Can I get there in time though? Oof, did not mean to take such a nasty charge. Okay, come on. Just kill the Croxagores, that's all I need. That is all I need. The salamanders are dead at least. Very good. Okay, and we've caught up the cavalry. Come on, Blood Knights. You were built for this. You were made for this. Please tell me you can actually get the job done. Pretty good damage, actually. Some big routes. And I think the Blood Knights might have cooked. Though at what cost? This was quite brutal. And the salamanders, they did live. But I guess I still have the double cap. Oh, geez, I finally routed. Okay, that's good. Alrighty. Okay, so I gotta kill off some salamanders. Kemmler is bleeding out as I speak. Come on, Kemmler, live. You gotta stop crumbling, my dude. Oh, he dead. Oh, he lived. He lived. Heal, you fool. Okay, alright. Kemmler lives. Blood Knights are doing okay. They're gonna have to disengage, but they are doing okay. In the meantime, we have some doggy cleanup crew. Kemmler dies. A little awkward. This is not my best performance, let me tell you. Those salamanders are annoying, bro. And I can't jump them. And the Croxagore is stabilized. That's nasty. At the very least, I still have a double cap. And the lizardmen do not have a ton of time. But I have to kill these salamanders if I want any chance of living. At the very least, the dogs are doing pretty well for themselves. Okay, and he is just going to desummon this guy. That's pretty good. I'll just distract Nakai with this Banshee. Not the best solution, but it's all I got. And we'll see if I can steal this point. So the Temple Guard are trying to body block. And that is okay. Hey, look, even the Banshee lived. Nice. Okay. How are you gonna steal the points, buddy? I'm gonna have Kemmler back in a second. Value trading wise, it's obviously real bad. But the return of Kemmler will be a new age for me. Banshee's just gonna be real annoying. And then I'll probably just give up this point. That's not the end of the world. The zombie flanking is going. Getting a little bit of work done. I must say, I don't feel great about the circumstances. Especially since I know more cavalry is going to be on its way. But you know what? Being double capped here is not the end of the world. You know what? That's actually not too bad. Another cav unit has been summoned, but I don't know if I can deal with all this stuff here. Can I get a Winds of Death, maybe? I have to be real careful with my Blood Knights. This cav corps of Cold Wind Spear Riders can get so much work done if I'm not careful. But I have an idea. Okay, no, it's not a bad idea. It's a bad idea. I'm bailing out. Dude, these knights are so slow. They're so slow. Kamler, what are you doing? Oh, crap. Okay, Kamler will be fine. He'll live. You know, what if I just chuck out a Winds of Death here? And then it just completely kills everything. Let a man dream. That is not a chunky Winds of Death. That was the least chunky Winds of Death I've ever seen in my entire life. Still though, I guess I have this point, but I just lost my Blood Knights. Slowest cavalry in the game, I swear. If I can secure these points though, I'll give it a hard maybe on the situation. Salamanders are kind of in an awkward spot. Dude, the Blood Knights suck so bad though. I have never been so disappointed. Okay, here we go, zombies. This one's on you. You gotta steal this point. A little bit of lag, that's okay. Yeah, the regiment of renowned Kroxigor. It's rough. Alright, here we go. Lag switch. Lag switch enabled. Oh my goodness. Yeah, a little bit of speed for those guys would be very helpful. The Karen Wraith Rush is not nearly as good as it is into Empire. Very sad. I think we're probably as good as dead here. I think I cooked too much. I might just withhold the Blood Knights. I wonder how the Black Knights did though. I don't know how I feel about them. Yeah, at least this ain't too bad. If those Karen Wraiths live, that would be very nice indeed. Fortunately, they're not living. Are we gonna... Okay, we got one terror out on these guys. The thing is, I'm just gonna run out of units soon. So unless I can actually secure this point, I'm pretty doomed. Yeah, this is too much capture weight. Alright, GG. Oops. GG, well played. Dang. Finally got me. Yeah, Blood Knights are not thriving right now. Kroxigor is cooked. He just had a very strong center position. I shouldn't have taken the big fight. I could have waited. And then I let the Salamander get value. Not being able to kill off the Cold One Riders was my big oopsies. I feel like just going for the Vargeist is way better. Vargeist seem way better. And honestly, Manfred is also insane. Maybe I just spam the Manfred. New Manfred meta. Manfred double White King. Spartacus. Is this Spartacus? Sorry, gonna have to kick you. Looking for my opponent. Okay, I think this is my opponent. Sword and Board Knights are very sad. Yeah, I did kind of like the Karen Wraiths though. Alright, I'm gonna need to win this one quickly so I can get my 4th game and hopefully 3 wins. We're on Skollendir's Cave. Whoop. There you go. Skollandier's Cave. I'm up against High Elves, which is not a great matchup. I just gotta lock in. I will say, the speed of the knights is rough, but I'll make it. Ooh, nice. We can Sipa in the Warhammer League separate tournament. Pretty fun. All right, let's do this. High Elves. High Elves. You know what? I'm feeling crazy today. Screw it. Screw it. I don't want to throw. I still want to make it to the finals and preferably win. The more I win, the fewer grand finalists I have to manage. That's my incentive. You know what? What if I just do this? One of those, one of these. Why not? Yeah, Tyel crushed it. All right. I want to try some fancy vampire counts builds. Feel like too many vampire counts builds look too normal. I think there's a lot more that can be done with the faction. Obviously, the strongest playstyle is the Mantide. But what if we did some craziness? Okay, this is truly wild, though. This one, I don't know. I don't know if it's good. But will it be fun? Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. This will be an amazing match. How expensive is this person? You know what? Oh, they lack AP. What garbage. Dude, I swear, our White King's the only character that's good on this roster. Alright. So if I'm not doing that, then what? You know what? One of these. Sure. Let's just try this. Pure ranged vampire counts build. Breath attacks. Gaze of Nagash. Is there anything else? Is there anything else that's pure ranged? Does a Mortis engine count as ranged? Charging spawns are as fast as Blood Knights. Oh boy, dude. I think if Blood Knights had normal cavalry speed, I think vampire counts becomes an absolute menace. I guess the vampires are still on undead horses, and undead horses are slower than living horses. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. Okay, I'm not too far down. If I win the next game, I will probably be okay. But I would preferably win this one in less than 15 minutes so that I can queue into someone else. And then what's that? What heavy cavalry is faster? For vampire counts, the Black Knights are the fastest. Then you have the Black Knight Lances, which are 72. And then you have the Blood Knights. Hex rates are the fastest, though, because of ghosts, but they are squishy in other ways. Let's not give counts 3 cases of Fireborn. Let's see here. If you made Blood Knights as fast as Fireborn, do they have armor piercing? Do Blood Knights have armor piercing? I forgot if CA changed it or something. Cav is too fast these days. You want slower Cav in general? if you slow down all cavalry, I do think the impact hits are maybe a little too strong overall. We're definitely in a bit of a cav meta. But would you change the impact damage or the speed? I feel like greenskin cavalry at like 90 speed would look silly. Roughly 1/3 AP. Yeah, so they're not Fireborn. They'd just be Dragon Princes. Unless there's something that makes them not Dragon Princes. Alright, let's try this. Let's try this out. Ready, good luck, have fun. Okay, I just want to have a bit of fun with this build today. It's not exciting to always go try hard vampire, or at least man-tied vampire counts. Because what do I learn from that? I learn nothing. -5 speed across the board. So you actually want boar boys to have 60 speed? That's so slow, man. You'll have Slanesh infantry as fast as boar boys. Oceanids. My Black Knights don't do magic attacks anymore. We have a Caradrian. Colossal Strike, okay. Honestly, not too bad. I got Bunes. It's not good against Oceanids, but I should be able to kill these Rangers if they get overextended. Which they are a little bit. I fear for their lives ever so slightly. That's just a Burning Headcaster, which is actually quite useless here. And we'll see what damage we can get done. Let's charge these boys on the side. Get some Vargeist going. The Vargeist are good. Just gonna nibble at them a little bit. And then pull away. No need to overcommit. Overcommitting is death. Can I kill Caradrian though? It's gonna be a decent Black Knight charge and a Manfred counted charge. A little bit of deeps. I don't want to get him to the point where he's Mortis engineing me. But this is solid. And I don't have to worry about this point either. We're here to kill the army. As long as Caradrian doesn't get too much work done, I'm happy. These Oceanids are out of position, by the way, so I should be able to win this fight over here. And if they do decide to summon any amount of cavalry, they're gonna instantly get hit by the Bunes. Overall, that should be a win-win. Vargeist are hyped too. Look at that speed, their ability to dodge. Doing very well for me. They've distracted the archers all the way up until I've managed to get a free charge here. And there go the Talons of Torquelada. And here go the Storm Riders. Unfortunately, everyone's just a little too slow. And even though my cavalry's obviously not the fastest cavalry in the game, it's more than enough to abuse some high elves out of position. Very nice. That's a glorious charge. Maybe I can kill off the caster. Oh, geez. Okay. Manny's taking a little bit of aim, and she's got to be a little careful. Can't afford to get murdered now. We still have to use you to Buna whatever cavalry shows up. There we go. Big route, though. Very nice. And there's the cav. Hell yeah. Very, very nice. He's gonna burning head his own fools. I was waiting for this. Manfred lives for these Bunas, man. The Fireborn are good, but they really hate being bullied like this. If you chuck out enough damage on their faces, it's game over for them. And that is gonna make them look pretty weak. Then I just gotta escort this Lord off. Dude, Buna is such an insane spell. Definitely one of the craziest spells in the game. It farms value like no one's business. Man, he's already at 1,000. We're gonna have some Reavers here. Not a problem. Let's just pull away and go over here. Not too bad. Honestly, this game's mostly going to be won because my opponent was out of position with their archers. And then they summoned the Fireborn into Buna. Oh, are they gonna save their lord? They might barely. They're still losing all of their rangers over in the distance, though. So I'm not particularly worried. My Gav feels so slow. All right, I'll just get the charge on the Reavers, and I'll give an attack command on that Lord. Get her out of the picture. Then move my very slow cavalry into position. Come on, don't rally! Oh man, they lost too much balance of power because they were dying to the Reavers because they kind of suck. It's okay though. We're still doing great. At the end of the day, they're gonna run out of units. Dang, though. I thought I could get the chase off. It's fine. He's gonna chuck out Flaming Sword, but that doesn't increase armor piercing damage, thus making it pretty garbage. Let's see if I can kill off these Rangers in time. I don't think I will, but... Look, there's nothing left, man. There's 2 Oceanids. 2 Oceanids and a dream for the High Elves. Limpest flaccid charge ever. Yeah, the because of the impact damage changes. Oh yeah, look at that sick Flaming Sword. Crazy plays, isn't it? Because of how they changed impact hits, they just made impact damage do more. Like, it's just better. But the thing about that is that it scales off of speed, so all slower units just get completely screwed over, and every unit that is fast gets a pretty nice benefit. So basically everyone got buffed but Blood Knights. At least it doesn't feel like the Blood Knights got very buffed. Rough time for them, but they're still fast enough to catch this lady with their charge speed bonus. So I guess that's okay. Are they gonna kill her? Come on, Blood Knights, you got this. Oh my gosh. Never mind, man. Never mind. What the crap. Alrighty. Dude. I've never been so disappointed. Okay, no, I've definitely been this disappointed before in the performance of other units. This game has many units that are bad. Here, you think I can kill these Oceanids with the Blood Knights? Yeah, keep checking out Flaming Sword. It's not doing anything. I guess he doesn't have, you know, it's not like Burning Head will do more though. Oh my gosh, it's another Fireborn. That's rough. This will be a tough day. Tough day for my opponent. Oceanids are good, but Blood Knights have enough anti-large to get them killed. Oh crap, I let him get the charge. Whoopsies. It's fine. At the end of the day, they're stuck in the trees. And there they go. Gonna get some emergency Reavers to maybe try and salvage a situation. Those Reavers will die though. In the meantime, Oceanid's getting absolutely wrecked. I will say Caradrian was kind of cool.
You have the foe's victory point.
It's nice to see Caradrian, but he's also not doing the bestest. And now it's a triple cap. So I just gotta win one more game and then I should be good. Dude, those Dragon Princes are really... 2 summons, but they did pay for themselves in the end because they were mostly fighting Blood Knights. Still not the best showing for the Dragon Princes. And I guess I'll just, I don't know, close out with this, some more mobility. Why not? Alright, time to kill Caradrian. You think it's possible? Fast for a boar. Yo, I wish we could actually have a greenskin pig meta. Greenskins were meta in Warhammer 2, but that was because of their skirmishers. and their chariots and such. It was not because of anything else.
Glory is yours.
This is definitely not because of their cavalry. A solid victory. Yeah, I should use magic to speed amp my Blood Knights. That would actually be kind of funny. Pig spam is pretty meta now. Yeah, but it's not making Greenskin strong. I think Greenskins are far from a meta faction. They get outclassed by a lot of the other melee ones, like even ogres who aren't even super popular. Blood Knights, pretty good. That was basically as optimal as it gets. I am liking Manfred more and more. I think Maximilianer is totally onto something with the Manfred, as much as I hate him as a character. We love to hate Manfred here, but yeah, not bad. All right, and we're up against Berserk. Well, that's scary. Okay, all right. Yo, yo. Are they hard counterpicking me? One Celestial Lake, so we'll see. We'll see if they're practicing and they're just playing whatever, or if they're gonna mega counterpick. Melkoths plus Blood Knight. Like Melkoths onto the Blood Knights, or I use Melkoths. Double Vargulf. It has immune to flanking now. Oh, it does. It does. It's basically a chimera. That's actually decently nifty. Yo, when did it get immune to flanking? What did it do to deserve such things? How did you score last game? Not reflect the army wipe? Because it tracks damage and only some sources of damage. It doesn't track healing. It doesn't track range damage very well. It doesn't track units routing off the battlefield. It doesn't track spells. So that's why. It doesn't track, actually. Now I am trying to get my modder Storm to help me get a better value tracking system implemented, but that might take some time. Berserk wants to play the Vampire Accounts Mirror. Do I remember how to play that? Demons of Chaos and Nurgle. He wants to play the Vampire Accounts Mirror. That's pretty fun. It is pretty funny. Does Berserk even know how to play Vampire Accounts well enough? You know what, let's just do it. Vampire Accounts Mirror time! This is a fan favorite. Oh, this should be interesting. This should be actually quite interesting. There's a few ways to play this. But yeah, it's all kind of up in the air. It's all kind of up in the air. Literally though? Is it literally up in the air? Okay, this is not too bad. And then I definitely want this. Red Duke time. Maybe. Unfortunately, this is not a great Vanguard map. We're basically just gonna be grinding on the middle point, by the way. Which is kind of the crazy thing about this. a lot of it will come down to value trading, which is also kind of insane. It's a weird matchup. It's definitely a weird matchup in general. Oh. Okay. But yeah, you basically want like you want a value trade, and you gotta fight kind of on the points. It's weird, bro. It's very weird. There's a lot. Even though the matchup is quite slow, I do think there's a decent amount going on to keep it interesting as a player. From a viewer perspective, I totally understand if you are less than happy about the matchup. But I think there's a lot to play around with. Definitely want a bunch of these guys. And then... is this a Vargeist matchup? Do Vargeist do anything? I think like Vargeist are not bad, right? Because they can kind of spam cycle charge and heal. Like if there's not enough yeah, mobility, and they should beat Blood Knights. Maybe? It's like kind of a toss-up whether or not they actually beat Blood Knights. But like Blood Knights won't be able to do much. Vargeist can probably get a little bit of work done. It's kind of weird though. Okay, if he does bring Blood Knights, does that do anything? You know what? Maybe I don't have to worry about Blood Knights. Yeah, Blood Knights might actually be useless here. Never mind. We're chilling. Let's see. Oh man, dude, the mirror. It's been quite some time. Okay. I can't take this. This is probably the riskiest thing about what I'm doing here. Mortis versus Mortis. A lot of it is just two Mortises hugging each other. But if you can kill your opponent's Mortis, that is huge. But no easy feat, that's for sure. Some people might go for like super single entity styles. You'll see the gashes are. But yeah, some people will go super heavy single entity styles to beat the Mortis engine. And that is actually not a terrible idea too. I believe this is okay. If I summon 3 skeletons, it's like only slightly more capture weight than the Graveguard, but I get a lot more HP. And that can heal up. Alternatively, Graveguard are just much better at fighting. They can win the grind, which could be extremely valuable. Oh man, this is a crazy build though. All right, you know, let's just see. I really do wonder how well Berserk knows this matchup and how well I know this matchup. Hex Wraiths destroy Blood Knights, I think. It's good to know. Do I have a way to destroy Hex Wraiths? Do I need a way to destroy Hex Wraiths? Let's say there's a Hex Wraith on the battlefield. What does that do even? What does it even do? Surely not much, right? Because every time it cycle charges my units, it's just not doing anything, right? It's basically the same as any other cavalry. The Buna. Could have some Buna. If I run Buna though, I don't know if I have enough magic to, like, you know, Winds of Death and the like. Spooky. Spooky Hex Wraiths? We'll see. If Berserk goes for Hex Wraiths, that's pretty cool. Ethereal maxing. I do wonder if Karen Wraiths are good in this matchup. Personally, I think they have some glaring weaknesses. But very much so, potentially they could be scary. I think my build is pretty good. I feel like I'm missing the secret sauce for it to be considered meta. But I think the build is pretty good. It has everything I could want, really. I do love my Graveguard, yes. I think Graveguard are great. I'm betting a main tide. Full main tide loses to Mortis. Because it's basically every unit on the point is going to be getting Mortis into Oblivion. So you have to be a little careful. If I win this, by the way, I make it to top 4. If I lose, probably not. So this is where the spiciness happens. I think there's a good chance Berserk has practiced this matchup. Even in like lane battle, there's gonna be something that comes up. So we'll see. Betting a main tide from me. I kind of went. I didn't go full main tide. I went double Vargulf. The idea being the Vargulfs are really good at sniping single entities and pushing his Mortis engine back. They can also kill Crypt Horrors. But my entire strategy revolves around the Vargulfs working. They do have immune to flanking though. So surely they crush it. They're pretty fast, which I like. But everything hinges on them. It's almost 3,000 gold. It's almost 3,000 gold worth. That is a pretty penny indeed. But I expect them to be able to get to this point pretty fast. Go ahead and steal it. I got my Graveguard, I got my Mortis, and I got my Corpse Guard. Put them on 2. No, I'll put them on 3. All right. Okay, the dogs are gonna go on 2. Ready? Good luck, have fun. Big bat memes. Yeah, I got double Vargeists to deal with cavalry in case Berserk tries to like just mobility me to death. He does have some Vargeists. He has the Regiment of Renown Claw of Nagash. But at the end of the day, it's just a double Vargeist build. That is not too bad. I should be able to shove them off pretty easily. He has a White King. He has some Scapscrath. He has the Sternsmen, but his zombies are very far. He has a Tempest Von Karstein Lord and no Winds of Death, which I think is crazy. Whoops, I was a little slow to that push. Now, he might use his mobility to assault my back point. I must be careful. The Vargulfs, though, can they bully the Mortis engine? I don't want him to get capture weight, but I also don't want these guys to get caught. I'll just settle for getting the capture weight. This point is mine. This point is mine. And that's gonna be decent. It's gonna be decent. Alright, sick. Let's get a squad of units to make their way across. I think Graveguard are a bad idea here. Graveguard are prone to being murdered. Vargulfs basically have to shadow these liars. Stop them from causing me pain and suffering. Mortis engine will be great though. Blocked up the Sternsman. And will he go for it? What a mad lad, he actually goes for it. Okay. Sure, I'll take it. That's because I have a Mortis engine here. The Mortis engine should do pretty well. I really want to kill off his Sternsman Graveguard. So I'm just gonna chuck out the this spell here. It takes out about half of their HP, which not the best trade in the world, because I did lose a Crypt Horror for it. I got a bit of damage on the Vargeists, and the Mortis got to cook a little bit. But yeah, that's not the best. That's far from the best of trades. And that does leave me a little sad. Still though, we're gonna continue the grind. Is he going to push hard for this flank point? We'll see. because he should know I definitely have this one secured. The Vargeists are doing okay for themselves. You know he wants air control, right? Based off the way he's playing. Oh crap, he's going for my Mortis. Mortis has to be very careful. Okay, he's just a cycle charging, that's fine. And then he's gonna chuck out some Crypt Ghouls over here. Now this is a good time to maybe punish them by getting 2 dogs on top of him. Kemmler is still alive, and I still have a Mortis. But defending this bad boy is going to be quite the journey. It will need all the body blocking it can afford. This should be a pretty good Winds of Death, though. Okay, nice. I will be able to kill those Crypt Ghouls, probably. He chucks out a Flock of Doom, but I don't think that'll do too much. And yep, mega damage on all of the infantry. Very big for me. And the healing is through the roof. So I'd say this is actually not too bad then. As long as the Mortis lives, I'm happy. As long as Kemmler is in melee, he's healing like crazy. Ah, but he has the Chillgeists. So those will be a little annoying. And I don't know if I have a great answer to them. Now, Kemmler can definitely heal. The double Vargulf will be great. But, yeah, can I actually deal with these guys? Well, Crypt Ghouls are doing okay. I could, You know, I'm gonna go for some flyers of my own. And then I'm gonna bring in the Vargulfs. Mortis Engine can just farm it up over here, that's fine. As long as I out-heal his Mortis, I'm happy. And here come the double Vargulfs. And my flyers, and that might be enough. That's basically all I'm hoping for here, as long as his lord doesn't get too much damage. Both Mortises are having a happy-go-lucky time. Then he's gonna want to, yeah, he wants to Tempest this bad boy. Understandable, but we shall not allow it. Value trading wise though is slightly down against me though. But I do have yet another one of these. And we do have the capture weight, which is very important. Hex rates I should be able to maybe bully. I will say the Vargulfs are doing okay. But yeah, I just have to leave this Mortis in melee. Oh crap, he got the capture point. Well, that ain't good. Oh, he also killed my Sternsman somehow. I don't know how that happened. A little unfortunate. Is that the end of the world, though? Maybe not. Though that is pretty bad. That is actually quite bad. Crap. That's not good. That's not good at all. How are my dudes doing? Okay, well, I should be able to kill his Vargeists. I don't know where his lord is trying to kill Kemmler. That's okay. I don't know how I feel about the dogs. I think the dogs might have been a bad idea. Look at him playing keep away. Is my Mortis gonna cook or what? Well, we both have Mortises, so that's about even. Oh, his infantry's just crushing it though. His Sternsman living was actually so impactful. I think that basically screws me. And I don't know if my Vargeists are actually gonna be able to cook. Dang it! Crap, there's the Tempest too. I think he might have just had more stuff than me. So these dogs will at least be able to hold the point. If these Vargeists can't absolutely cook, it's totally over, guys. I don't know what to say. Berserk just didn't go for the single entities, and it is going pretty well for him. Kemmler heals a lot, though. I'm gonna chuck another Wind of Death here. Wind of Death Hail Mary. The Vargulfs are good, and you know what? Maybe he takes like too much cavalry or something. He did just lose a lot of infantry on that point too. Is a non-zero chance that it's not completely over. Especially if the Vargulfs keep cooking, which they actually are doing pretty well for themselves. I'm just really worried about my Mortis though. Not having any crypt horrors in the local area is just killing me. Dude, he just had more crypt horrors. Is that the answer the whole time? Just have crypt horrors? Dang it. I thought I could be cute. Is there anything I can do here? Are we gonna get a sick charge on these hex rates and kill them all, maybe? I don't know. I thought the Kemmler healing would be enough to keep my blob alive, but dude, everything just died. The Vargeist control, I was thinking the Vargeist would not be a problem, but they were absolutely a big problem. And now the Kemmler dies. Dang it, man. Yeah, well, at least we learned about how good these flyers can be in the matchup. They have 16 entities. Ah. Is there any way I can pull it back? Dude, I thought the Winds of Death would cook a bit harder. Dude, Kemmler's dead, bro. The Vargulfs were okay. I think I probably would have been better off sitting on 1 point. They did not really land a lot of hits on his Claw of Nagash. I think just having more Crypt Horrors is what you really need. GG, well played. That's it for me. Dang. Rough vampire counts day today. That means I'm probably not making top 4. He would have knocked me out of top 4 regardless, though. And that probably puts them in top 4. The tide turn maybe when I pivoted the Vargulfs to my home objective. Yeah. Whoa, what? I still made it? That's wild. Oh, Opal Bear and Rowdy don't have enough games played. They only played 2 games. Yo, that's crazy. It's a miracle. Okay, I still have a way to come back then. The Mortises, mine got way more value, but I couldn't kill his Sternsmen, bro. He did something to kill my Sternsmen right away. I don't know what. I also lost a Crypt Horror at the beginning. I think if I just played a bit smarter, I'll be fine. The Vargulfs are nasty, but they're not the end of the world. So he did have Hex Rates and some Cavalry. Alright. We up again. Rematch time. Okay. By some crazy miracle, we've made it. And rises from the dead. Very appropriate. With the 2 and 2. Oh my goodness. Okay, okay. Yeah, I thought we were gonna spectate. He squats his way into the finals. Yo, alright. Okay, so okay, they get the counter pick. Chaos, Zinch, and Korn. Interesting. He doesn't want to face that again. I'll go versus I can go versus Chaos. On a map like this, is a very flat map. Chaos should be fine. Interesting that he doesn't want a rematch. Probably because now that I have a good idea of what build they like, I can just counter it. Now, Chaos, I know Chaos Chosen have been buffed. We could see a bunch of Marauder Horsemen. Interesting. We've been seeing more and more Hex Wraiths recently, which is surprising to me. I think in this matchup, though, with Hellstriders, it's not going to be pretty. So, how do I want to deal with the Chaos? Marauder Horsemen are annoying. They're weaker to the main tide, but... yeah, Berserk plays fun factions. They like their melee. Zinch is pretty wild. I think I almost want to face Zinch. Clearly, Berserk is very comfortable with their Vampire counts counters. Although we'll see if their Chaos is good enough for it. Personally, I think Chaos doesn't have the easiest fight here, but... maybe there's something crazy that they'll cook up. Maybe. Personally, though, I think Chaos is... I think Chaos is not the be-all, end-all versus Vampire counts. I'd say Vampire counts have a lot of ways to potentially wreck them. I just need some way to deal with the Horsemen. If I was playing Chaos and I took like 6 Marauder Horsemen or Horse Masters, what would I be most worried about seeing from the Vampire counts? Like, I wouldn't be that worried about dogs. Though they're okay, they can actually get countercharged by Horse Masters. Fell Bats can kind of do something, but they're also not amazing. You think he's gonna go Chosen maxing though? Dude, a Chosen? What if he goes like Chosen of Corn? You gotta have something for that. Chimera plays are not gonna be as strong here. That's just because I'm gonna have a bit too much on the ground. Chimeras tend to just take too long to actually kill everything. Cairn Wraiths? Does Chaos have magic damage? That would be pretty funny to just have some random Cairn Wraiths running around, but I don't know if that's a good idea or not. What else is good? Honestly, yeah, this is okay. I feel like this is very alright. I'm not particularly pleased by this though. I feel like this build certainly has a few awkward weaknesses that I do not like. AP check with Chosen maxing. Chosen is cheaper on here, as you know. So we could see some sick Chosen shenanigans. Hellstriders are honestly, they're not the end of the world, just because they generally don't trade that well against grindy factions. So at least I have that going for me. If I go Cairn Wraiths, are Cairn Wraiths good? Are they like a good unit? I'm trying to think, like if he has a bunch of Forsaken, do Cairn Wraiths uptrade Forsaken? I know like some people really don't like them. I know they're really good versus Empire if they can get the terror routes and such. Against Chaos Warriors, it's okay. Harry Hammerstorm? That would be wild. I would love it. Alright, kind of a wild build, but yeah, let's try this. Okay, this is a very wild build. Is this what I want? Is this what I want to do with my life? I think it's not bad. I will say Vargeist. A lot of Vampire Counts players like Vargeist. So I might want to lean into that a little bit. Aspiring Champions or Zinch Forsaken will body Cairn Wraiths. Oh yeah, Aspiring Champions. That's a bad idea. They're really slow though. Zinch Forsaken would be really weird, because then you can't take your other cool units. I do have some pretty nifty stuff going on here though, that could give Berserk a hard time. It's really gonna depend though. Berserk likes to play mobile playstyles. I think there might be a tendency to do that in this matchup too. Oh man, here we go. Beating Berserk is not easy. They're one of the top players in the entire world, but they do bleed. Ent is locking in after getting humbled. Yo, 2-2 is not a great time for Vampire Counts. The weird thing about Vampire Counts is you need a lot of knowledge to play them well, and you need a lot of knowledge to play against them. So if you don't know how to do it just right, you can look real weak sauce. Alternatively, you can just always man-tide. I see that unit count. So the guy has 5 units. That means it's probably some Chimera action. I think double Chimera is almost guaranteed. But what are they going to have in the air? I'm going to need a box up real tight because they're probably going to be a lot more mobile than me. They don't even have more than 4 horsemen. In fact, they can't have more than like 3 horsemen based off the spending. Right? They have 9,000 gold. So if they spend 3,000 gold in their first 3 units and then take 2 horsemen, what is going on? Is this like a chosen max? What is this? How come you keep calling Berserk they? Because I don't know if I don't know the gender. I can assume they're a him, but I think it's better to just say they for everyone. And you know, if someone's ever bothered by me calling them they and they correct me, then also fine. There's 4 units. Sorcerer Metal with the final transportation. We got a Cockatrice. We have the Rotting Riders. Nothing too scary. I actually feel much more comfortable here. So they've gone for their big old Mortis engine blob. And they are spamming more horsemen indeed. Now, can I Spirit Leech anyone is the real question. Gonna get a pretty decent charge over here. Most of their shots miss. Glorious. Okay, and then I'm gonna see if I can kill his lord. The thing is, the guy's very tanky. He's gonna have some tussling to go on. I think Hex rates are fine. They can actually probably catch out some of these units. And maybe give a Rotting Riders a little bit of a run for their money. He really likes just giving those Crypt Horrors a big old 1-2 punch. It's gonna be pretty decent damage though. Right from the get-go, and if the Horrors live, it's not too bad. Hex rates are in, doing their bestest to try and catch these guys. If I can kill the bird, I'm happy. So I'm just gonna give it a fat Spirit Leech. And he does let some of his cavalry get caught. That's actually a pretty big play for me. He is forced to summon Hellstriders, so I'll just disengage. And that is okay. So we kind of got a little bit of hokey poke going. You know, I'm gonna be able to heal up a lot of this damage. Question is, how aggressively are they gonna play here? Really wants to go for this. I think I'm okay taking this fight just because there's not a lot here. Then I can start pushing here with the zombies maybe. I just have to be careful because like this is his death blob. So if he does actually get onto my face, I'm dead. His lord is out of position though. So maybe I just kill him. I'm gonna do my best for that actually. I think one solid lord kill could just end him. Ouch. Okay, that's gonna kill my hex rates, unfortunately. But this ain't too bad. If I can kill off that lord, it is glorious. And I have a little bit of a blob fight here, but we're healing. Okay, a little bit of chip damage on that lord over there. Can I actually kill him though? My goose is having a hard time landing on his face. Surprisingly enough, the hex rays did live. Okay. Then we're gonna try and go for the snipe. So that'll be good. Aeson is doing his bestest. But I got all my boys in town ready to go. It's a little bit of an awkward fight. He chucks out the final transportation. Thankfully not on these guys. And this ain't too bad. As long as my lord doesn't die, I'm mostly happy. The goose has to live, of course. But this is okay. This is actually a blob fight that I kind of want to take. The exception of Aeson being in here. That's a little awkward, but as long as my lord lives, which he does manage to escape. Some breath attacks will be good. Next, the goose. That's a pretty good breath attack. And I think the goose will be okay too. A little scary for both players, I think. And then he summons some halberds, which shouldn't be too impactful here. This is okay. This is a very okay situation. I'm kind of in a mosh pit, and he's getting a lot of damage on my face, which I don't very much appreciate. Let's heal these guys up some more. I need to like peel away from Aeson. I think once I do that, I'll be all right. Those halberds did show up in time, unfortunate. But okay, this should be a pretty good fight. Very nice. And then maybe I can even go for Aeson if I'm lucky. I can't just cycle charge these guys, but I actually don't really care about that very much. I mostly want the value trades. So I'm gonna go for that. Unfortunately, most of my crypt horrors are suffering. And suffering quite bad at that. My hex rates are almost fully dead. And my lord, he's doing his best. But is also not looking too pretty. I do have the Vargeist here though. That is okay. We do get a pretty big route. Also very good. And we'll see if it's enough. Lord will have to be very careful. But this is a big route, at least. The question is, does he die in this circumstance? Seems like he is okay. He is very alright. He may take a bit of damage, but I think he'll escape. And then I can simply skedaddle from this situation. He gets final transmuted, but he can heal that back up, no problem. So as long as he doesn't get caught and murdered here, I'm okay. I will say though, those horsemen, very painful. I need this guy to not get caught and murdered, bro. Don't you dare die, not like this. Got a pretty sick heal. He's pretty annoying to kill sometimes. He has regeneration. He's gonna get the Plague of Rust. Okay. My opponent's doing the best to try and kill this guy. He very much so wants it. He has 500 HP though. That is a decent amount. And he might lose all of his horsemen trying to kill him. And if he rallies, it's over. I've won. So I think that's basically what I'm going for here. Come on, you fool. Rally. Thank goodness for Undead Crumbling being so freakishly slow. This guy is able to stick around. One final transmutation kills him though. But the dog charge has saved his butt. Okay. Can the zombie stabilize his situation then? I guess that's the next big question. Oh, he's barely gonna die. That's unfortunate. Now I do still have a triple cap. And Aeson may suffer the murderage from all these guys, but that is definitely a big setback. Dude, he almost lived. Okay, can I kill Aeson though? If I kill Aeson, I think I still have a little bit of a chance. I can bring in the Hex Race. I don't think it's worth to get my Lord back. These zombies are just straight up crumbling here. Okay, he's trying to check out a big ol' Searing Doom on my infantry. And my Crypt Horrors. But they will live. The question is, will I have enough? Aeson's probably gonna live, which is the worst part. But I have a bunch of X-rates, and I have a lot of tickets. What a fight, though. Okay, so Both sides don't really want to fight each other. He has a lot of magic, that's for sure. Oh man, dude, my lord dying, man. What a ripoff, bro. And now he's going hard on this point. That is not the end of the world, however. I still have my mobility. I still have my dignity. We'll just ignore these guys and just fully escape. There is no point sticking around there. And instead, I will just flee these Forsaken. Dude, I think he's gonna win it again. Oh man. Yo, I thought the single entity squad would be able to fight this, but honestly, it almost did. If my lord had lived, this could have been so much worse for him. I'm gonna see if I can make use of his slower speed though, and maybe play for points. Ticket wise, you gotta remember I do win on a very simple double or single capture point. So the stalling can begin at this point. I have many an option for that. Unfortunately, it's going to be some horsemen here. The doggos doing pretty well, at least, for the capture weight. Let's see if we can play dance around. Ason's pretty slow. I don't think he'll be able to do much. I'm gonna see if I can catch these horsemen out. Okay, all right. This ain't too bad, actually. This ain't too bad. Crap. Okay, now I don't win on a one cap. So that changes things from good to very bad. I should be able to get a decent charge on these Hellstriders at least. I'm gonna get a little bit of a charge here from the Vargeist and the Goose, so maybe I get a mass route. But I don't think I'm killing his units anytime soon. Maybe I can get him to friendly fire with his own Searing Doom. Hell yeah. That's not too bad. But I don't think I can value trade this madness. There's a little bit too much here, I think. But I'm going to play it out regardless. Because you never know. Where there's a will, there's a way. I did manage to chase off 2 horsemen, which is very good, but I have Forsaken coming my way now. That is bad. Do I have a flyer or something? I have horrors, but they're very slow. Okay, the dogs are doing okay. I can charge these guys in the back. The thing is, though, the guy wins on a 2 cap, so he can just sit on 2 points. I think my build might have been too fancy for its own good, although this is pretty nasty. If I did go for a death blob, I don't know if we would win anyways. Still, though, I'm going to do my best. So we do resecure the point. That is good. And it's just going to be Forsaken spam. Not the end of the world. And I should be able to capture this in time, hopefully. Jeez. Jeez Louise, just capture the point. Freaking hell. Worst game ever. Okay, alright. I think I could still steal a point, though. With the... I really don't have capture weight. That sucks, bro. That's really bad. I needed that point really, really bad. Alright, here we go. Oh, I didn't even get the charge. Now I'm misplaying the flubs. I think I was dead anyways, but... Alright, let's see how this goes. So he's on a final transmutation, the Vargeist. That's okay. I'll probably be able to at least secure this. Aeson, I think, dies to the Goose. And then I need to make a play for some capturing. Dude, that failed charge actually screwed me so bad. Oh, that's so rough. Yeah, now he's spamming Hellstriders. Freaking. Dang it. Is there any way I can pull this back? I think we're totally army wiped. The rotting riders coming back was a big problem. At the end of the day, my SC squad was not enough to win. GG, well played.
You have
Berserk moves to the finals.
There is only
Stay in lobby. I'll get spec slot up. Yeah. Vampire counts are strong, but I don't think this was a proper tryharding day. I kinda botched it. Berserk's a menace. Whoops. Wrong win loss. Berserk's a menace. And they clearly know their builds versus vampire counts. I think I could have tried a stall strategy. This build's very fast on its feet though, but if I skip the goose, if my lord lived, honestly, that could have made a world of a difference. But yeah, the Hellstriders are a menace once the units get low. If I'm able to box, then not a big problem. But this beats the box. Brutal. Yeah, this build, you really need to know what you're doing to beat it. The Mega Death Blobs. Now, I think there are some pretty nifty strats you can do to counter it if you go hard enough on the single entities and you can cycle charge and all that. But I simply have not played enough vampire counts, clearly. Whoops. Alright. Now who's gonna make it to the top 4? Got Flower QQ and Tyel. Alrighty, there we go. Oh, dude, that's brutal. That's brutal. If I did go full main tide and I captured all the points and just play keep away from Aeson, I wonder how that would have gone. They didn't have that many tools to clear armies other than Aeson and his lord with the spellcasting. Man, that shrine though, indestructible shrine. I wonder if I had Cav maxed. How would that have gone? I think I would have gone skirmish to death. I was thinking you would go for the like double chimera style, but no, he went old school. The darn guy went old school. Ugh. What I'll be really interested in seeing though is if Maximillionaire is able to crush it with vampire counts in my finals. That'll be the true test to see if they're actually a scary faction at the highest level or not. Because Maximillionaire knows what you're gonna go, and he's dedicated his life to coming up with counter builds to that. So while a scrub like me will just get wrecked, I think he'll be so ready for it. Is Berserk gonna play Grand Cathay? I don't know. Berserk, yeah, I don't know which factions they're gonna be going for. Grand Cathay is... it is okay. It is okay, but... are they actually going Grand Cathay? Is it gonna be Dark Elves versus Grand Cathay? I feel like Dark Elves should be super favored, but if Flower had something insane ready to go, this could be a sick grand finals, people. Interesting. start collecting names for the replay. All right, let me see. We're not doing the wheel spin just yet, but I have actually. Oh, we actually don't have that many replay submissions. I guess because the tournament's not done yet. But if you do want a chance at a replay, or at a DLC, now is the time to submit your replays. I mean, not now, but in a second. Are the reduced price tigers worth taking now? I think they're not bad at the current price. Oh, dude. I feel like I would love a rematch against Berserk. I think in general, if I'm playing vampire counts, probably because I think they do play vampire counts. They know all the ways people can abuse them, so they have just a whole host of builds, and they're not even shooty builds. They're like single entity crazy builds. If I had gone way more wide and I just skipped the horrors, I wonder what would have happened. If my infantry would have gone cycle charge to death, or if my mobility could deal with it. Honestly, if my lord lived, bro. If he just lived. Kind of my bad, but I feel like he was really close to rallying at one point. Because in the late game, I can just hold on to the points and I'll be good. I did take kind of an awkward fight near his spawn point though. There's a lot going on. It's Kislev versus Dark Elves. Interesting. I still feel like Dark Elves have a lot of strength here though. Oh, finally got rid of the thing. Okay. But yeah, just a reminder to all players, if you want to enter the raffle, you gotta submit 2 replays from today. It can be a win, it can be a loss. What's your take on Vampire Coast? Trying to learn them? Pretty strong faction. Their deckhand spam goes a long way. A lot of factions just don't have the oomph to clear it all in time. See, if I knew they were gonna go for a build like that. Man, I feel like I really should just grind the vampire accounts. I should do some counter picking. I think after I'm done doing all the faction tryharding, I'll have to revisit vampire accounts because clearly we did not master them. But afterwards, I think it'd be fun to do some variety counter picking streams. There you go. Also have some fun replays to look at. Apparently there's a Dreadquake in one of the new player replays. That'll be fun because then we can go over how to deal with units like that. I think a lot of new players would have a hard time versus something like a Dreadquake. Oh boy, and he's ready. He even clicked a fun banner. Berserk. You thought Double Goose would be well suited? Yeah, I thought Double Goose would do pretty well. I didn't micro it as well as I could have. But I thought, like, maybe I could catch his lord out. My goose was having a hard time landing, though. So he did manage to escape. I think if they focused Ace on, maybe. Because Ace on was kind of exposed, right? What stops me from just killing him? The random bird? That's not a big deal. So, I think I... Well, okay. So, the biggest scary threat was the Rotting Riders and Aeson. So, after the Rotting Riders died, if I just got both of my Lord and the Goose onto Aeson, and then just, like, stick some dogs or bats onto a skirmish cab, maybe we just win. It could just be, like, not having that decisiveness and trusting that your anti-large will get the job done. You forgot to save the replays. Let's see here. I don't care. Yes, you're TL. Replays. I only have the one. When did we face each other? Is yes, we had 2 games versus Berserk. Was it this one? I don't know if this is the right replay. You can let me know. Let me know if this is the right one. Yeah, if you just want the replays for the for the raffle, you don't have to worry about it much. Just send a message in. I think it was someone else. Okay, yeah, there's someone else I gotta add on. Got a few names. But alright, here we go. I'm done reeling from the loss. I'm usually not too bad at vampire counts. I was kind of having some fun experimenting with different stuff, but the games against Berserk, I was trying my darndest. I just don't know the faction well enough. As much as I wish I could say I could retire from being an ultra sweaty tryhard and transition to YouTubing, the ultra sweaty tryhard, it never leaves, does it? It never leaves. I will say though, I do prefer the YouTubes. As much as I could just stop YouTubing and sit down and grind games forever, it is pretty hype. Now let's take a look at these builds. Magical ice sleds. Amazing. I don't know why it was decided that there just has to be magic everywhere for Kislev, but apparently they're just high fantasy magic abundant. You know, when casting magic has a chance of making your head get blown off, I feel like this is overly risky, but I guess they got the logistics settled. Anyways, a unit of light war sleds. We have the Boris, Ursus. It's got the Shard Blade. We got the Ulrika, some spells, some Melkoths, some Pit of Shades. Dark Elf side, we have Soul Stealer, some Melkoths, the Wand of Caridon. Both sides opting for the Melkoths. Very fun, lots of speed. Fairly standard infantry corps, some skirmishers, infantry corps, some skirmishers. There's not a lot going on here, guys. This game's gonna come down to the play of both players. How will they manage? There's no way Kislev don't have refrigerators. Oh, and everything is frozen. You don't really need it, right? Portable refrigerators, though? I think they could make millions. If you go to the Southlands and just show off ice on a sled, that is like... the value is insane. You know how many people would pay for ice back in the day? That was a luxury. Kislev clearly not industrious enough to capitalize on that. They're gonna get shot up by some little Ice Guard glaives over here. Fun tech piece. Did not expect to see Ice Guard glaives. I would say Berserk is definitely going the Stranger build today with the Ulrika and the Boris. It's quite unusual. So if Berserk wins this, I will be quite impressed. Cold One Knights summoned in a terrifying unit of cavalry. Armor piercing, a little slow, 66 speed, even slower than Blood Knights. But their damage is so high and they're relatively cheap, kind of makes up for it. It's kind of like Greenskin cavalry, but even fightier. Range units are doing pretty good versus sleds too. Oh, we're gonna see a chariot body block. Chariot body block has been initiated. This is going to start a big fight though. The main engagement has begun. What is that? It's a Wand of Coridon, and it hits a thing in the woods. I don't know if that was a misclick or if he just really wants that dead. You see another spell. I think that's Boris's Fury of Urson plus his Shard Blade. Gonna be doing a lot of damage actually. Was it a bait the whole time? Apparently Berserk saw an opportunity and they took it. The chariots were stuck in melee and they're not the best in terms of combat prowess. Kislev though, quite fighty in this situation, but the counterpunch has just arrived. And the Soul Seal is going to do big damage with the countercharge of the Cold One Knights. That's pretty bad for Kislev. Both sides are just throwing sucker punches at each other's faces. No one's blocking. It's just more damage into the blob. Countercharge from the Dark Riders. Not a countercharge from the Dervishes. They go for the range units instead. Left, right, and center. Both players are losing lots of units. A Dervish took a lot of damage too. But Dark Elves had a lot of ranged, and that means they can be shut down extremely cost efficiently. Kislev has a slight lead advantage too. But if they're passive triggers, we could see a big swing play. Are we gonna see a misplay from Flower? Oh, barely gets a counter charge off. Terrifying. And the micro is intense. Both the players just nailing each other with the deeps. But how does it settle? Ticket-wise, it's still pretty low, which means the game will continue. And it will go on for quite some time. And considering the Dark Elf passive makes the Dark Elves mid and late game very strong, they will have a lot of time to get back in value, especially if this happens. Boris, completely surrounded by Cold One Knights. This is about the worst position possible, but he barely escapes. Nice micro from Berserk. Over on the far end, some chariots have come back, the Ravagers of Rakarth. And they've gotten a decent amount of value. They're kiting away the Griffin Legion, which is also a lot of value to be had. And I would not count the Dark Elves out just yet. Their passive is up. This one Bleak Sword is hanging on by a thread, but Murderous Prowess is plus 15. They would have routed by now, but their Vigor is keeping them in the fight. Is there going to be enough to rout the unit off? We got 9 leadership. They get shot by the sleds. But they're, oh my goodness, the Vigor is coming back. They're back at full Vigor. 20 leadership. The Dark Shard that could. Barely stays in the fight, which is really important because these Ice Guard should be shooting into this blob. Without support there, it's gonna be a little nasty, but maybe not needed. Big rout from the Dark Elves, pretty brutal. Pretty rough. Just got a message, we're good though. But Marathi does chuck out another Soul Sealer. I will say, I do think the Dark Elves have a better late game, but Kislev is tussling pretty hard. How much value does Ulrika have? Actually pretty decent value. Oh wait, Ulrika's like really stacked up. That's kind of wild. They even have Skollendir's Fall. But that means Ulrika's actually like almost 2,000 gold. She's extremely expensive here. And if she dies, I think Kislev falls with her. Dark Elves are now spamming cavalry, by the way. Look at that passive. Now that it's triggered, every new unit will get it when they are summoned in. And that means they're basically just supercharged now for the rest of the game. And that's why the Valley Tracker is saying that they're coming back. Malkoth's on the Wing Lancers, very nice too. Are we going to see a Cav countercharge though? No, Winged Lancers do get a pretty good connection. Barely attacking in time, though, the Cold One Knights. And I think the Winged Lancers are dead. This is getting really bad for Kislev, actually. As crazy as the initial fight was, I think the Dark Elves are just kind of murdering right now. The Cold One Chariots barely surviving, too. They're back to cause some pain. Good dodge from the Boris. Accidental because he's just rampaging. But if you charge, it increases your speed. And it makes it harder for projectiles to track you. That's how you manage to dodge the Wand of Tryharding. And you know what? They do still hold. Kislev holds, but Ulrika is dead. So no more magic for the time being. And I think resummoning Ulrika is nigh impossible. Marathi can get lots of value too with her Malkoths, but I think she will be running out soonish. Because of all the Soul Stealers she's been chucking out, her magic reserves can't be that high. I think we've seen, what, 3 Soul Stealers? A bunch of Malkoths? Even with the life leeching, she might only have 1 or 2 Malkoths left. At least by my judgment. So both sides are very low on magic. Value Tracker is insanely close. And they're kind of just trying to make plays on each other. A little bit of a misplay with the Crows of Cain. They get countercharged and absolutely murdered. That is a very rough tool to lose. But on the other hand, Armored Kossars are also dying. So at the end of the day, it's kind of even, slightly in the favor of Kislev. But can they bring in the late game to clean up? Well, they have Ice Guard. They're good. They just cut out some Dark Riders. I think Berserk is holding. There's just like a few too many misplays here and there where the cavalry's just getting caught. Imagine if there was a whole Dark Rider and a Crow of Cain still alive here. It could be so much better. Malkoth drops though. Not Overcast. That will save the Dark Riders. Okay. Oh, is this a counterpunch? Was it a debate the whole time? The Dark Riders turn around. They still have the Murderous Prowess, so their damage is crazy. 50 charge bonus. But it looks like these guys will barely escape. And okay. They pull away. A little bit of a dance back and forth here. But he wasn't able to kill the Ice Guard. You know, I was thinking if Dark Elves killed the Ice Guard, they would stand a better chance. But now it's looking pretty rough. Dark Elves are just slowly petering out. They're gonna need enough to win the cav fight, but Kislev's just gonna keep bringing in cavalry. The infantry are starting to flood the points. And the only chance the Dark Elves have left is if they can get some crazy value with the infantry on the far side, because this is not going. The Dervishes are cooking. Okay, maybe if Marathi crumps Boris. Oh my gosh, the 1-2 punch. One more punch? If she hits Boris another time, we still have a game. She does, but she gets hit herself. Boris does have anti-large. Marathi does have anti-large. So they're just taking each other to Pound Town. Marathi blinks first, though, and she tries to disengage. Is Boris going to get the attack animations while chasing, though? Game's kind of janky on that. You can see he's kind of having an awkward time. But Marathi gets caught. Honestly, she might have been better off staying her ground. But both sides go pretty badly. 2 leadership, 5 leadership. Dude, if she routes, it's over for the Dark Elves. 2 leadership. Marathi, you mad lad. Oh, she gets pushed through. I think a thing in the woods squeezed her through the gap, and she's barely gonna live. The thing is, though, she has to be out of magic now. There's no way she has another Soul Stealer. I think it would be sick if she did, because then Boris would die, but there's just no way. Oh, and my goodness, she routes to the Armored Kossars on the ground with the pistols shooting straight up into the air. And I think that's gonna spell doom. The last Hail Mary of Marathi. Berserk with the Boris Ulrika build and some very sick micro. Getting a very nice early game engagement. Getting a very, very nice early game engagement. Killing off the Scourge Runners, killing off all the Dark Shards. I think, you know, that was a very hard play to read, but basically, Berserk got the sense that Dark Elves, they have more range firepower. They're just gonna kite. But if you can just force a fight, then you'll be okay. Because Boris is a crazy fighter. Ulrika is a crazy fighter. And the ice guard tie it all together to give their slow so that there's no escape. Magnificent. Very good. This matchup is the tonic to the Vampire counts, truly. Though we've seen Vampire counts do bleed. Mostly because I misplayed though. Interesting. Flower had some of these guys. Congratulations to Berserk. Now I'm going to go ahead and look at some replays, some new player replays in a second. But let me just do some tracking. Qualifier. So that's Berserk's second qualifier. The way we did it, it's nice and simple. So if you win multiple of these tournaments, when you go to the finals, you get to veto certain opponents. You can say, I don't want to face this guy. And in the early rounds, you don't have to deal with them. If there's any bye rounds, you'll also get priority for that. So that's pretty nice. But also it's pretty good practice. Berserk, congrats on the win. Since this is your second win, you will get to veto someone in the finals. Someone you don't want to face in the finals. And you are in higher priority for bye rounds. DLC, please. Let's see here. DLCs to give. Berserk. And let's go ahead and look at the replay. Good tournament. It was a solid time. I think one of these had a Dreadquake mortar. Let's take a look. Chaos Dwarves versus Dwarves. D-Gamer versus Commissar. Oh boy, that's a rough one. Oh boy, alright. Alright, let's take a look. So, Commissar is one of the top dwarf players in the scene right now. They're pretty scary. But to counter them, we have a Death Shriek and a Dreadquake mortar. Dreadquake's pretty hype. Falling Star technology has arrived. It's gonna land smack dab in front of those miners. Honestly, less damage than I thought it would do. But still pretty good. It basically leaves like a little aura of damage here. Monstrous impact to slow them down too. So half HP off the miners at the start, not bad. Commissar though is very good at stalling strategies. Also after this I'll do the raffle. I just want people to have time to submit their replays and such. Pretty good fight so far though. We're gonna see a counterplay with some cannons, but the positioning stops the cannons from doing damage. And if we think about win conditions versus this dwarf build, it's all about clearing them out in time. So obviously they're going to be able to capture the points at the cost of value. But can you do it fast enough? Because if you take your sweet time, you're gonna lose in about 7 minutes. Just from tickets. So that's pretty rough. And when you do go for the points, well, trading doesn't look nearly as good. Orc laborers getting blasted by the mining blasting charges. Surprisingly enough, though, their loose formation keeps them together, though. That was actually quite efficient. Searing Doom on the Rangers is okay, just to stop them from shooting, but I would recommend Honestly, against dwarves, maybe not even Searing Doom, I feel like Gehennas might be slightly better versus the Rangers. Kind of hard to say though. But here's the problem. First things first, infantry stacking doesn't increase their damage. It just spreads the damage you take to both of them. So for vampire counts, they want to do it because they have so many healing units. But for you, this offers no benefit. Be much better to flank or protect your flanks and the like. So that's going to be a little rough. We have some Kadai Fireborn charging in. Commissar doesn't like short games. Oh my goodness. But yeah, we'll take a look. I will say the damage on the Doomseekers is pretty nice. Getting a little bit of work on them. Having the Kadai in here is solid, but they're going to be blasted by the cannons as soon as they get line of sight. And the Slayer Tide continues. Now this is still good. They're going to control the point, but you see the value tracker? That's what I'm talking about. To take points is to lose value. So sometimes it's better to just play for value first. And I don't even think they're going to get this point. Sure, the Searing Doom is good, but Commissar is kind of just annihilating right now. This is the big issue. So usually you're going to need to play a little bit more safe. You're going to need to be very particular about which fights you decide to go for. One very important thing is this army is very wide. So picking one area and choosing that as your location to strike is good. But you need to have the counters for that. And right now, there's not too much. Commissar especially likes spamming Slayers. So you gotta deal with them. You could try some Skirmishers, but there's some ranged units. Maybe you can use some mobility. Kadai are dead though. Train is not a bad idea, but it has to avoid dying. Now, if it can disrupt these Thunderers and maybe kill off the cannon, that's not that bad. But a second unit of Thunderers has arrived. And this is just looking pretty rough. Now, dwarves in general have a pretty good time versus the Chaos Dwarves. But it's probably not impossible if you're playing players that are weaker than Commissar. It's probably just going to be a battle of, you know, how much shelling you can get done. Honestly, the Dreadquake is getting a lot of damage, which I do kind of like. Commissar has not been dodging like crazy with it. And you did finally secure the middle. But now what? Personally, I think I would push over here and take care of all this. Kill the guns, kill the cannon. This army's not strong enough to do that because the trading's been a bit rough. But if you find a way to shut this down, that would be perfect. Charging through the Slayers, though, very unhealthy for that train. Very rough. Honestly, I think if you keep the train alive and you disrupt the guns, make it so the Slayers can't catch you, then you buy your time to just keep shelling this area, because the Dreadquake's getting some crazy damage. And you did manage to capture the middle point. But some of the trading needs to be a little bit better. Honestly, I do really wonder if, like, hobgoblin archers can just, like, ride over there and get shots in. Or even just a sneaky gits and run them in the flank. There's a couple options. Those can potentially get you a lot of value.
One of your units has been destroyed.
Alrighty. Oh, there goes the Lord. Sorry, I just got some messages. Honestly, you know, I would almost be tempted to just say, like, you should just take double Dreadquake. You know, if you're against someone that's not dodging very aggressively, you can totally just clear this out. Like, look at how few units are here because of the Dreadquake. In fact, I think that might have been what did you in. Even though D-Gamer did technically push this force with their ground units, they didn't do it with the Dreadquake. The Dreadquake was kind of firing here. And what ended up happening is that your army's smaller because you have the Dreadquake mortar. I believe that is what did it. If you destroyed this area with the Dreadquake first and then rush in with your units, you can probably take this out a lot faster. and then go for this. Because honestly, Dreadquake Barrage into stealing the points is just solid, right? Especially if you can get Hobgoblin, Wolf Riders, and just like dive in onto the point, kill the archers. It's kind of tricksy though. Not the best fight. Let's take a look at this. Deathstreak did not get a lot of value actually. It didn't pay for itself the whole game. Dreadquake neither. That's the problem when you face good enough people. They're just gonna dodge most of the time. Now you can take some artillery that's a little bit better at you know, for being undodgeable. But this is going to be pretty rough. Now, I will say, if you are going to face a dwarf build like that, let's see, are there crazy shenanigans you can do? I feel like as Chaos Dwarves, it's probably better, even if there are cannons, to just lean into the trains and just keep them alive. You might be better off just straight up going double train with the Hellbound and basically having like a pseudo rush. Against those minor builds, if you go for a very strong melee rush at the beginning, something crazy like this, and Commissar decides to spread out across in a wide line, they can be totally unprepared. And if they summon like artillery or something, you just jump it because you have a mega rush force. Flamestorm is really good. And yeah, honestly, something like this could be really terrifying. Now, I don't usually recommend skew builds, but against dwarves in an unfavored matchup, I think you might need it. But yeah, I could totally see something like this just popping off. Maybe, I don't know, you have to play around with the money. But the idea is, at the beginning of the game, there's nothing to stop Kadai or Iron Demons, and the slow trickle of counters should not be enough. Then, after everything is dead, you just need to clean up the Slayers. And Slayer cleanup versus Dwarves usually looks something like this. A cheap infantry unit that specializes in non-armor piercing damage. Spam these guys out and they should be enough. Yeah. Next time it'll go better. I wouldn't be so sure about that. Commissar is pretty terrifying, but I'm happy that the advice should help at least. I'm sure you got plans too yourself. But yeah, basically you need something to kill the chaff, and then you need something to kill late game slayers. Because at the end of the day, dwarves can't really spam chaff as effectively. And then honestly, you don't really need these dwarf warrior great weapons much. They're quite slow. Unless you're doing like a dedicated, like, you know, just full infantry rush like this. And it's a little slower, but you can kind of just walk forwards and kill them. But most of the time, I think dwarves will be ready for that. You could also go for a hell cannon. So this is kind of like the Dreadquake, but because its shots are homing, they're not going to dodge it. And you're guaranteed to get value. So if you want to go for like a more shooty build, I think this could be really annoying for dwarves. Assuming you can hide from cannons. If you get shot by cannons, it's over. Fun game though. GG's. I am going to call it. Gotta get back to editing. We have a bunch more names sent in. Chulachu. Got TL. And I think that is, yeah, that's everybody. So let's give it a spin. And who are we gonna get? Hey, nice. The Gamer, congratulations. Very nice. DLC of your choice, please. Good stuff. Let me see if I can set up a raid since we're here. This is too high micro for an intermediate player. I guess the trains are really hard to micro, but if it's the only thing, I guess I would cut the cavalry, right? If you're like a new player, you're probably better off trying to outshoot the dwarves. In which case, you should just go like double hell cannon, dreadquake mortar. You know, you can go quad dreadquake mortar. If they're dodging those, then you go for the magma cannons. And just pray that they don't summon too many cannons to beat you. Yeah. It's honestly a rough matchup. When it comes to new player fights, the thing that's much easier to do is playing defensively. Because campaign doesn't teach you to be offensive. And that, unfortunately, means that, yeah, the person who just gets more shooty is just gonna come out on top. I don't think there's an easy way to shut down cannons as Chaos Dwarves, though. It all requires a little bit of craziness. Good stuff, though. I think that's basically everything I wanted to go over. Alright, peace out. I'm gonna go relax. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. I could not find anyone to raid, so end card time.